Luke Trierweiler here from Trierweiler Farms, and I'm going to introduce you to fried green tomatoes, a hidden little secret. I'm a tomato guy, and I like my tomatoes. I like them red and I like them green, but sometimes I can't wait for them to get ripe, so you got to eat the fried green tomatoes. So we got us a nice little tomato here, fresh out of the garden, and it doesn't really matter if they're a little soft, if they're firm, as long as they're green and they don't have any yellow on them, you're good to go. So I'm going to start off here with just a few ingredients. I'm going to take my cast iron pan. I'm going to throw a little bit of olive oil in here. I'm going to get that going on the fire while we get ready. Most everybody that knows me knows I like to cook over an open fire. No barbecue grill for me. I like the open fire. So our ingredients. Obviously we've got olive oil with our cast iron pan. We've got a green tomato. You need about a cup of flour, and then you can season that flour with anything you want. I use a little Trierweiler Farm house seasoning here. It's just onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, and celery salt. So I'm going to go ahead and take that, add it to my cup of flour. It's a nice 89 degrees here in Michigan today, so of course all your powders are going to be a little bit cakey. So we'll just kind of shake them up. Now we got a nice little mixture here. And then, depending on your preference, a little salt and pepper. You can do the salt and pepper afterwards, or you can put a little bit of salt and pepper in your batter. Now there's two ways that people do these green fried tomatoes. Some people use a wet batter, like a Drake's beer batter, and you can dredge it. Other people like me like to do it dry. So we've got our batter here, we got our oil going. We're gonna slice these bad boys up. And you're going to slice it just like you'd slice a traditional tomato. I cut that top end off. Now depending on how you like it, you can go thin if you want it a little crispier, or you can go thicker if you like it a little more meaty. I kind of like it in between, a little medium. So I go about a 1/4 inch. And we'll just slice up 2 or 3 here. Now once you got them sliced up, you can take it, you can throw it in your flour, you can flip it over, get it prepared. Nice little dredge here, mix it around. And if you notice, if I bring my camera woman Marcy in a little bit closer, my wife, you can see here, it's got a pretty good covering with the flour. If you want it to cover a little bit more, sometimes these green tomatoes are a little bit dry, so you got to moisten it up a little bit. So you can just get whatever beverage you've got handy. So we just got a can of beer here. We'll just pour a little bit in a little cup. Just throw that tomato right in there, just get it good and wet. You can let it soak if you want. And then dredge it. Now you're going to have a little bit thicker of a batter on there. Alright. Now I'm just going to take a little piece here off of the piece I wasted, and I'm going to bring it over here. I'm going to see if my oil's ready. And that is just about ready. Alright, so we're going to come over here, we're going to throw these in the fire. My oil is a little bit cool right now, so we'll hit a little pause and we'll come right back. Alright, so take a look at these tomatoes here. We got them, just got them flipped. They go about 2 minutes on a side. So while we wait that, about 2 minutes first side, maybe 1 minute second side. So while we got that going, I went ahead and sliced up a little bit more tomato here. So we've got these on standby, so when those are done and we got them cooling, we can get our second batch going. If you want them crispy, I recommend slicing them a little bit thinner, and then they don't take quite as long to cook. Like I say, with the olive oil, you can cook them in olive oil, lard, bacon grease is great. Just didn't have any bacon grease laying around. You can use butter, corn oil, canola oil, peanut oil, whatever you want, just anything you can do. A lot of people will deep fry them in a lot of grease, but when you deep fry them in a lot of grease, you're probably going to want to use a wet rub like a Drake's or something like that. So let's go ahead and we'll come over here and These have been cooking pretty good. We're going to go ahead and take these off. They do not take that long once you get them going. So there they are. I like mine not necessarily burnt up, but obviously, as most of you know, once you get it going and you get your flour going a few times, they will start to burn a little bit later on as they cook. So we'll get this second batch going. We'll come back over here to this first batch. Just gonna cut us a little piece here. Oh yeah. Fried green tomatoes from Trierweiler Farms. Enjoy.